now and then glimmered through the trees. The air was perfectly still, not a leaf stirred, and the atmosphere seemed so charged with electricity as to be incapable of transmitting sound of any kind. Dick himself, with Austin and Bat in attendance, remained on guard, all of them eagerly straining both eye and ear to catch any light or sound that might disturb the silence and obscurity. Old Tom, with his head sunk upon his breast, sat motionless, as if in a trance. He was gloomily revolving the awakened memories of the past. Mrs. Weldon was engaged with her sick child. Scarcely one of the party was really asleep, except indeed it might be Cousin Benedict, whose reasoning faculties were not of any order to carry him forwards into any future contingencies. Midnight was still an hour in advance, when the dull air seemed filled with a deep and prolonged roar, mingled with a peculiar kind of vibration. Tom started to his feet. A fresh recollection of his early days had struck him. "A lion! A lion!" he shouted. In vain Dick tried to repress him, but he repeated, "A lion! A lion!" Dick Sands seized his cutlass, and unable any longer to control his wrath, he rushed to the spot where he had left Harris lying. The man was gone, and his horse with him. All the suspicions that had been so long pent up within Dick's mind now shaped themselves into actual reality. A flood of light had broken in upon him. Now he was convinced, only too certainly, that it was not the coast of America at all upon which the schooner had been cast ashore. It was not Easter Island that had been sighted far away in the west. The compass had completely deceived him. He was satisfied now that the strong currents had carried them quite round Cape Horn, and that they were really entered the Atlantic. No wonder that quinquina, caoutchouc, and other South American products had failed to be seen. This was neither the Bolivian pampas nor the plateau of Atacama. There were giraffes, not ostriches, that had vanished down the glade. There were elephants that had trodden down the underwood. There were hippopotamuses that were lurking by the river. It was indeed that dreaded tsetse fly that Cousin Benedict had so triumphantly discovered, and last of all, it was a lion's roar that had disturbed the silence of the forest. That chain, that knife, those forks, were unquestionably the instruments of slave dealers, and what could those mutilated hands be except the relics of their ill-fated victims? Harris and Negoro must be in a conspiracy. It was with terrible anguish that Dick gnashed his teeth, and muttered, "Yes, it is true, we are in Africa, in equatorial Africa, in the land of slavery, in the very haunt of slave drivers." End of part the first, chapter 18. Recording by Alex Lander, Davis, California. www.alexitalander.com